Hey everyone, it's the Jeep Life Podcast live edition, and I'm Jeepin Terry, your host. We're coming live on Facebook and YouTube and wherever else we can get your feed. Of course, I'll edit this down and make it quite clean for the audio worlds. I know it's been a while since we've been on, uh, but we're hopefully back into the routine and catching up. And we've got a great show for you tonight. I'm going to discuss my Jeep woes and the stuff that I've gone through lately with my Jeep. And then we'll talk about some of the events and maybe throw in a fun factoid here and there. But we're going to let a few people join us and hit us up. Mike, good evening. I feel like I haven't seen you in a million years, and I miss you, and can't wait to hang out with you in a couple weeks, maybe sooner. Who knows? Well, what else do we got? Yeah, so I've just been trying to catch up. I've been home for exactly 7 days now, um, after being gone for pretty much 6.5 weeks, I think. So yeah, but good to have everybody as they're joining us. I'll give a couple more minutes before we hit it. Let me. I'm going to. Hey, Brianna. I remember meeting you. And Roy is the coolest. I know my kid would never say that I'm the coolest, but um, he is. And I'm glad you're on. I know I got to meet you in Wildwood. That was really pretty awesome. I'm going to see if I can send this out and share it out. And everybody is welcome to do the same. I wish I was good enough that I could continue talking and be focused on the life um, and post and do all the stuff in the background that people do. I'm just not. I'm not that. I'm not wired that way. Hey, what's up, Joseph? Um, Man, those axles. I would kill to be able to get those, but life isn't allowing me to. Um, but it's good to be able to come on here and see people that I haven't seen in a while and be able to interact and get things rolling. We're going to give one more minute until everybody jumps in, and then we'll kick off because I got a pretty cool show planned out. It is just me in the studio tonight. We're working on trying to figure out the cast of characters that can be on and be regular for us. Right now, it's just me, and obviously I've been doing the travel bit, getting the miles, logging the miles for sure. And not good miles. I don't get anything in return. It's just miles on vehicles. I think I had 1,400 miles in the last 2 weeks on my Jeep, which is not a good thing. But all right, I am going to hit that button and get rolling with this. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Jeep Life Podcast. I'm your host, Jeepin Terry, and today it's just me. No other host, no guests, just you and me talking Jeeps. We're going to cover my Jeep woes, relive some of the big events that I've had in a very near recent, the New Jersey Jeep invasion, Great Smoky Mountain Jeep invasion, and maybe have some Jeep trivia and trail announcements for you. So stick around, it's going to be a good one. Tonight's episode is proudly presented by the good folks at Armorlight, the toughest flooring in a trail. Got to spend some time with Kel and Dave a few weeks back. I guess now it's 2 weeks, but good to see them. Good to hang out, and I'm glad you're here. We've got people on with us live, and maybe they'll throw out some good Jeep trivia if they've got it, or even Jeep woes that maybe they want to share. But we've got our thanks to our Patreon supporters. If you want to be a Patreon supporter, support this podcast, give back. We've got basically 4 levels. One is a free level. Maybe you don't get all the write-ups and stuff that Dr. Don does and the fun stuff, but you do get some level. So make sure you sign up. We do have 3 other levels. Sport level gets you, it's $3. It's $3 a month. It helps us out a lot. Then of course you move up to the $5 Sahara level, and that, I don't know that it gets you anything more, but it gets you more love from me. And then, of course, the top level, the Rubicon level, is $10 a month, and we have a few of those supporters. I want to thank those folks. But all of our Patreon supporters are just awesome, and we appreciate you coming on and supporting us. Danny, I did. And Ryan, it is good to see you on here, and thanks for you being you. You're the most positive person I've ever met, and I appreciate that. Hey, while you're not doing anything and stalling out on this Monday evening, or whenever you happen to be listening, do me a favor. Go to your favorite place that you get podcasts and hit up a review. Give us a review. Hopefully it's a 5-star review. You like what we do, and that helps more people find us. The more people find us, the more content that we can bring. And I am going to do my dead level best to make sure that we have a lot more content for you. And it's crazy. Events. That's all I've done. We've got our calendar, but I only see one more event before SEMA that is on my calendar, and it's September 20th. It's a fall New Jersey Jeep invasion. That's in Ocean City, New Jersey. That's put on by the good folks, Blinker Fluid Productions, Jamie and Allison and the team. But you go and drive your Jeep on the boardwalk, park it, just enjoy all the Jeeps that are there. All the boardwalk spots are filled, so they've sold all those out, and but go park in town and get out there. I will be there with Oracle, and we'll have a booth set up, and it'll be a good time. And then immediately following that will be the Oracle Lights sponsored after party, and that's at Ludlam Brewery. And we had it there last year. It was in the field next door. This year it's going to be in the main parking lot. It was great last year. It's going to be even better this year. Exciting. So make sure you come. That doesn't cost anything. We're giving away prizes for the best and runner-up lights that'll be there. So it'll be a lot of fun. Hey, Dave, I should have came by and said hey, and let me know you're there. We could have gotten a selfie or whatever. And we'll talk about this a little bit later, but we had tons of people stop by the Oracle booth and say hey and get some selfies. People walked by and heard my voice and recognized me by my voice, which is great. It's always fun. Hey, Grant. I hope you're having a great day. And it's always weird to be recognized by my voice. It's not the first time that it's happened. As a matter of fact, it won't be the last. I don't think I have a distinct voice until we talk, on the podcast, and then people find me out there with just hearing my voice. It's a lot of fun and cool. All right, so here we're gonna start out with talking a little bit about my Jeeping woes. My Jeep right now is in not such great condition. It's it's something we can all relate to. Jeeping troubles. Jeeps are notorious, especially if you use them in any way or modify them. If you own a Jeep, you've got a story. Mine lately has there's so many variants. Where do I start? On the way back from Great Smoky Mountain, I kind of blew down my rear passenger tire. So I'm going down the road, and all of a sudden, the sensor comes on and says I'm running low, about 22 psi, because I didn't notice before then. And slowly it just kind of ticked its way down to about 17, 16 psi. Pull over. I happened to be at Buc-ee's, so I pulled over, got out, got gas, went and peed because, you gotta while you're at Buc-ee's. Those restrooms are ridiculous. Grab some food, and then came back out, checked my tire pressure, and it was like 15. So yeah, I've got a little bit of a leak going on. I actually had detail stuff in my Jeep from the show, so I sprayed some stuff on the tire trying to see if I could see where any air was coming out. I didn't see any, because if it had been coming through where the tread is, I had my power tank tire repair kit with me. I could have repaired it and been on my way. So I didn't see anything. All right, I'll just air it back up. Maybe the seal on the bead came out, so I just aired it back up, used my power tank, powered it up. As I crossed the 33-pound mark, which is where I run my tires, 33 psi, my power tank emptied. So it was all emptied out. So I knew, all right, this is gonna suck. Let's see where we are. So while I'm sitting there, I pulled up plenty of places, a couple tire places, and I kind of had them mapped out. So if I made it, 50 miles, I could go here. If I made it 20 miles, I could go here. And so I get down the road, and 20 minutes later, it dings again. I'm seeing it's coming down. So I literally hit this place. It's about 15 minutes off the highway. Actually, I went to a place that was right next to the highway. Nobody was there. I walked in, dinged the bell, everything. They weren't there. So I went to the other place. It was about 15 minutes off of the road. Dallas and the team there, Broadway Tire, I don't even know where this is, but they were really super nice and helped me out. They didn't have any 30s. My tire needed to be replaced. It was starting to dry rot. Here I am in Nowheresville, Virginia. It's the Buc-ee's was right outside of Harrisonburgville, wherever JMU is. And I don't know anybody there, but I went in and they found it cracked the sidewall, and it was just barely seeping out. But it was, if it didn't happen then, it was going to happen later on down the road, and it would have been worse probably. They didn't have any 37s in stock, so they had to drive 30 minutes each way to go and get 37. And so, I basically said, get the cheapest 37 that I can. And so we got that. They put it on. And, 3.5 hours later, $400 lighter, I'm back on my way. But now I kind of had to decide, if that one's going bad, then probably the others are going bad as well. So, what tires am I going to put on? Currently, I'm running Mickey Thompson Legend ATZs. Good tires, but they're showing their wear and age, obviously. But I had KM3s on there, and off-road performance-wise, the KM3s are great. But I didn't get the miles that I wanted to out of them, and the road manners were okay. They were a true mud terrain, so they're a little bit louder. Then I have a lot of friends at Nitto and that are running Nitto trail grapplers, and so all right, so maybe I'll do that route. My daughter's running the Mickey Thompson Baja Boss ATs, and I love those tires on her Jeep. We had them on the TJ, and then when that wrecked, I went and got them off and put them on her JK. I know that my real good friend Matt runs those and loves them on the 37s. So I think that's the tire I'm going to go with. I know Mickey has reached out to me through somebody else. So I think that's the route I'm going to go probably real soon. I need them, but I have so many other things going on with my Jeep that spending tire money right now is difficult. Spending any money on my Jeep is difficult because we just spent a lot of money on Lexi's Jeep and got it all ready for when I shipped her off to college. Shout out to Emotive, Eston and Eric over at Emotive in Mertztown, PA. That's such a great shop, and those guys are super knowledgeable and really they're the nicest people on the planet. So if you're in the PA area and need work done, go see Eston and Eric at Emotive Automotive in Mertztown. Just Google search it. They're great. Maybe I'll put it in the show notes. And I know that we've got other listeners of the podcast that have got great shops as well. So make sure to take care of them. It's all. I'm really into the small business side of things right now, and what those folks do. I appreciate that. So I've got to figure that out. Tires, but I know it's a primary focus, but I can't do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll do it, this week, next week. I don't know, wherever I can find room in the budget for that. So tires, and as Jamie alluded to, flat tire Terry. That was definitely, halfway flat. It didn't go all the way flat on me, which is, thank goodness, right? But on that trip, I did notice that I was having, every once in a while, it looked like the LEDs on the dash were dimming and going in and out, and it was like, it was almost like in dings here and there. It was almost like the electricity stopped for a second. I didn't lose any performance. The only thing it would do if I was in cruise control, it'd kick that off. But, lights would come on and then go away. Lights would come on and then go away. It kind of flickered. So I just needed some time to sit down with that. I mean, I've got a ton of stuff going on electrically with my Jeep. So I'm like, all right, there's something definitely going on. And I'm like, all right, I'll figure this out. So I removed all the electricity from the battery, and I removed both of the posts off of the posts. I gotta say, I think the design of the clamps on the post from Jeep is absolutely horrible. You've got a vertical up and down 10 millimeter bolt, and then the clamp is a left and right action. So it does it by, I think cam action or whatever, but I just don't know that it gets it tight enough, or maybe it works loose. So I undid that, cleaned off the post, put the the clamps back on the posts, tighten everything down. They didn't move. They didn't seem to move prior to that, but they could have. I I'm like, all right, I'm just going to reduce this down to the most simple battery and battery cable, and that's it. Okay, cool. So I did that. Jeep started right back up. Oh, the other symptom that I had is over the last week, my Jeep hasn't been starting. So I can get out there and put a jump box on it, and sometimes that starts it, but I think it was more of me wiggling or getting an arc across something that would cause it and allow it to start. I would know that it would get that current because my rock side step slides would drop down. It would go into it would open up. So when I did that, I got down to the basics. The Jeep started. Everything was good. I'd kind of taken everything off of the little posts and zip tied them up so they weren't touching anything. And all of a sudden, I felt really good with the electrical on that. And when that thing happened, I was like, all right, this is cool. Now what am I going to do? So I literally kept the little bolts off of the posts, and then I just took one component at a time and added it on. Now I started with the oldest electrical component that I have on my Jeep, and that's my my winch, and it's also the most powerful. And draws the most power. So I put that on next, and I gave it its own post, because we'd just been piling stuff on. And so I gave it its own post, tightened everything down, and all of a sudden started. It was good. All right. So then I just kept working one component at a time, adding it on and kind of being selective about where I put, because on the positive you have 3, and on the negative I think you have 2 extra posts that you can tie into. So I hit those, and I know that this is kind of a common thing with JKs, and I honestly think it's the design of the clamp for the posts. But once I added everything on, everything's good. And so far it's 3 days in, and I haven't had a single problem with it. It's started up right away. I haven't had any of the, as Ellen says, it was Christmas mode. Everything's flashing and binging. So I haven't had anything like that. So I think, knock on wood, I have solved that. The posts, there was no corrosion. The battery is relatively new. So I knew it was fine. Went and got it tested. Everything was fine. But then I made sure every connection was clean and solid. Everything was tightened down. Nothing was moving. Nothing was touching each other. So there was I even checked, all the cabling to make sure there wasn't cracks and shorts and everything. So it was a good kind of exercise to go through to find out, what are my problems? And it turns out, I think it was the way those clamps onto the post. I don't know. I can't exactly prove that, but I feel like that was the case. I even I took a hammer to make sure those were hit. They were down far enough on the post, so I knew it wasn't moving. Anyway, so taking care of that. So if you're having those Christmas tree lights, you're having those problems, start with removing everything from the battery and then kind of adding back one at a time. I knew that if I had any problems that, maybe it would show up, but once I got everything on, and so far, knock on wood, everything's good. Whew, all right. That problem solved at no expense. I didn't have to do any expense. That's the key there. Just a little bit of work. The auxiliary battery, that's a whole new set of things. I would love to have a newer vehicle to have that, but I don't want those woes. I've heard the nightmares. Next thing on the list that has to get fixed. I've had a check engine light on forever, and I can't tell if it's the sensors or the catalytic converters. So I bit the bullet. I have catalytic converters on the way, so we can get that taken care of, and hopefully it's that and not the sensors, or maybe I'll just get sensors too while I'm at it and do the whole thing. But it's 162,000 miles on an 8.5-year-old or 8 year and 3 month old vehicle. I guess it's time for the cats to go, so that's also on the list of things to do. But that's, that doesn't, so far, knock on wood, hasn't affected performance. It hasn't affected anything. Just the check engine light is on, and I can't get my vehicle inspected because of it. All right. Next is cracked oil cooler. That needs to be fixed immediately. That's the next big hurdle. I think that's impacting my coolant. My coolant is under pressure. Nothing seems to be weird, but it does run hot, and then it will run fine, and it'll fill up my coolant reservoir and won't get sucked back in, and it overflows the coolant reservoir, and it looks like I have coolant leak. I don't have a coolant leak. It's the reservoir overflowing. So I'm going to start with a cracked oil cooler and get that fixed, and then see where it goes from there. This is a thorn in my side. I think this is my third or fourth oil cooler on this vehicle, and I'm done with it. I swear some of these days I think my Jeep is testing my loyalty. It's testing me if I want to keep this thing, or but it's the all a part of the Jeep life that I kind of signed up for. And if I need reminding, I drive with the top down, and it's been absolutely gorgeous here for the past week and a half. I have my top down doors off in Tennessee, and that's why I have this vehicle. And it's that feeling that you can't create. What am I going to do? Right now I don't want another car payment. I don't want to add. I want a Gladiator so bad I can't stand it. Just plain and simple, I want one. I want to, drop it on 37s, 38s, and live that Gladiator life. But it's not in the cards for me right now. But spending $2,000 or $3,000 to get my Jeep fixed, my money could go toward a new one. I don't know. But if you have your own Jeep headache, drop us a message in the comments. I can't put a Hemi. I can't do that. I know that's what Billy's doing, and yes, it is quite the list. Yeah, it does need a Hemi-powered JK for sure, to show off the lights. I mean, my vehicle does show off the lights very well, but yeah, definitely put a Hemi in it. I would love to. Tom, what's happening? All my peeps are here. It's great. I know, right? No, with that attitude. So if you have a Jeep headache or you've had one, send us an email at jeeplife or info@jeeplifepodcast.com, and maybe we'll read it on air and talk about it. Or if you want to drop it in the comments, maybe I'll be able to work it into the show. I just want to hear that I'm not the only one out there right now with these kind of woes. It's crazy and kind of depressing at times, but I've had a lot of friends reach out to me this past week and kind of keep me in check, keep me mentally going. And for those people, I can never say thank you enough, and I appreciate it. Dan has done a great job with that, and everybody else that's reached out, I appreciate that. All right, quick trivia. The very first Jeep prototype was built in just 49 days. I've had more problems over 49 days. Could you imagine designing and building something that legendary in less than 2 months? We've had to order parts, and it takes longer than that sometimes, right? Yeah, but, in the very beginning, World War II was coming on hot, and I think it's great that that we were able to produce the first prototype and get things rolling on that so quickly. It's pretty awesome, I know I did a Jeep Invasion recap, but I just have to go back to the good times that I had at the Jeep Invasion, and it's always one of my favorites. I love going. Jamie and Allison and their teams are amazing with Brendan, Jim, Matt, so many others that are there. It's got that boardwalk atmosphere, that Jeep, that beach atmosphere. We got thousands of rigs lined up on the beach, cool builds, creative mods, some of the biggest, baddest, and then some of the most decorative, right? So there's everything, and I really enjoy that. It's unique. It's New Jersey, the ice cream, the pizza, the food. It's tradition for me. I love those 2 weekends, Bronco and Jeep weekends, down there. Getting to hang out with Jamie and everybody else. It's pretty awesome. Jamie, you're right. The simplicity with those vehicles and purely utilitarian, right? Our vehicles now are not utilitarian. They're comfy. They're built to do amazing things, but it's simple. When you simplify it, things get easier, right? And you can do it quicker, plain and simple. All right. Here's another one. Did you know the word Jeep supposedly comes from military designation as GP for general purpose? I guess over time, people started saying Jeep, combining the G and the P. I don't know if that's true. That's what has been given down in Jeep lore. I know that, there's other things. We've actually did an episode that had this, but, Jeep from Popeye, the little critter. And so, there's things that came from there. The origin of the name is interesting. It's been handed down. It's gone through how many different owners, from Bantam, Willis, and Ford, then to AMC, then to Chrysler, then to Chrysler Daimler, and then who else? Fiat, and now Stellantis. Oh, Roy, those Jeep woes, they just keep coming, right? They just keep on coming. We talked about it earlier today. Hey, Frank, how's it going? GP is also a locomotive designation. Ah, interesting. Yeah, Frank, the conductor. But I love that it's kind of gone through the years, and the brand is still strong. It's a lot of fun, and knowing that. So if you have any other things, email us or throw us on the socials, or hit it if you know a different history than I know, then let's do it. Let's talk about it. All right. So 2 weeks ago, I was in Pigeon Forge. 8 days ago, I was in the throes of Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. And that's in Pigeon Forge. And it's huge. if New Jersey is all about community, and it is, and there's amazing boardwalk setting, then Smoky Mountain is all about scale. There's thousands, literally 50,000 plus Jeeps, a sea of vendors, rigs from mild to wild. It's overwhelming in the best possible way. I mean, I've had people, tell me, I'm just overwhelmed. It's crazy that it's there. Greg, that's a great call out. Mahindra has also held the license since 1947. And I think they actually now have the ability to do it in the States, but it's not as a full-size vehicle. I'm not sure of that. Yeah, definitely slinging light bars and LEDs in the Great Smoky Mountains. It's great I love that show because I get to see so many people from all over. It's great to see my friends in the industry. Greg is one of those. Jamie, the Tyree lighting guys are some of my favorite people in the world. Eric, one of my dearest friends. Cole, and my new family member, Nick. He's with that team now, traveling, and man, it's just the nicest guy on the planet. Super awesome. But there's the team at Steer Smarts, Jamie, who's listening, Andy and Jay, Midland peeps, Jeremy and the team over at Rock Crawler. It's good to see them and hang out. They've helped me out in so many ways. I go back to Steer Smarts and Andy and Jay. Those are the gentlemen in the industry. They're terrific. I can't say enough good things about them. Gerald over at Savvy Off-Road, man, he comes and finds me for a hug. I want to hang out more with him, and he knows so much about the industry and about off-roading as a driver and everything. So I'd love that. Maybe I'll get him on the show. That'd be good. Been trying for years to get Jeremy from Rock Crawler on the show. Maybe I'll be able to. They're friends. Maybe I'll con both of them into coming in at the same time. And then so many of our listeners stop by the booth. I mean, so many people walk by and would hear my voice and stop in and say, hey, guy from Kentucky, there was one from Indiana, there's a couple from PA, several from Tennessee, one from Arizona. I mean, it's so many people. I wish I could remember the names. I need to take a sign-up list and have people sign in at these shows so I can at least call them out here. And remember, I'm the worst with names. I'll remember your face. I'll remember your Jeep. But I'm sorry, I've forgotten, and apologize. But it makes my day when people come up. Almost all of them I was able to get them stickers. And it's a highlight of mine to be able to hand out stickers there and talk to them and even new people, maybe introduce them to the Jeep Life podcast. And that was pretty awesome. My people over Alpine, Roy, you're on here, Colin and Eric, who's been on the show as well. It's like a little mini reunion. And the folks at Tora, the Truck and Off-Road Alliance for SEMA, that networking event is just all about friends hanging out and meeting new friends. PowerTube TV, I've been promising them, our stuff so that we can be, a part of PowerTube TV. That's a goal of theirs. It's a goal of mine. Got to see them and hang out with them and in Pigeon Forge. It was awesome. And my friends over at Armorlight. The list goes on. But, being able to go on the Parkway and see all the thousands of Jeeps lining the Parkway and on the Parkway, it's a crazy scene that's not like any other place. And then, everybody's got their lights and everything. It's so much fun. So that event really drives home how huge the Jeep family is nationwide. It's cool to see Jeep Life Podcast stickers on Jeeps on the Parkway, which is so cool. And wherever you're from, you roll into Pigeon Forge and you're instantly among friends. It's such a great environment. So I highly recommend going there if you haven't gone. Plan ahead. Know that it's super busy, but every vendor is there, and it's a selling show. It's a buying show. So take your money and get what you need. There's usually really, really great deals going on. Coming up, now that we've got all the events out of the way, coming up, I'm going to get to do something for me. My Jeep Club, the Jeep Enthusiasts of Eastern Pennsylvania, has our fall trail ride coming up, and I still have a few spots left in my group that I'm leading. This group is for the adventurous blues plus skill category, so we're not going to hit every big trail, but we're going to have fun and hit some of the big trails and do some fun stuff on those. So if you've got those skill set and the rig to do, then go to Jeep Enthusiast of Eastern Pennsylvania Facebook page and get all the details for the event and sign up there. If you're a beginner, we've got beginning groups as well that have spots. I used to lead those all the time, but then we got a lot of beginner guides, and so now I'm kind of the other side of the coin. So, but check it out. I go up camping. We leave on Friday and go up and hit the trails for a little bit and then camp. And then we'll do the trail ride. Usually about 150 Jeeps are there, and it's such a good time. It's really about camaraderie, having a good time, introducing people to off-roading. And it's at Anthracite Outdoor Adventure Area up in Cole Township. Dave and the team up there do amazing work, and it's just a great park. So if you want to go, then reach out or get on the Facebook page and sign up. Like I said, I still have a few spots open, so I'd like to get a few more people so that we can have a good group to have fun with. Next, the iconic grill on the front of the Jeep. Originally started with 13 slots and round headlights, right? But then it reduced down to 9 by production, and then finally settled on 7 after the war. And I think AMC kind of lent to that 7. I'm a little foggy on that. But all those were round headlights. And then the YJ got the square headlights, right? And then went back to the round headlights. And we're back to the round headlights, except for, here's a plug, my good friend Greg and his unofficial use only YJL grill, going back to the square headlights. Man, go look those up. They look fantastic. But check those out. Unofficial use only, and those are built by Greg Henderson. And I love the way my grill looks. I'm a stock grill kind of guy. I don't do any of the extra, whatever other grills you might want to put out there. But it's okay if you do, and because it's all part of the Jeep life. But for me, a traditional 7-slot grill just looks really, really good. Even the new 25 model, I really like the look of those as well. It could come attached to a Gladiator, and I would be super happy about that. Between battling all my Jeep gremlins, soaking up all the event vibes and everything, New Jersey and Tennessee, and then it's been a wild Jeep season, and I for one am it's been nice to kind of dial it back this weekend and not have to go to an event, not have to go 100 miles an hour, not have to drive 11 hours to get somewhere. I'm done. I'm ready to relax and rest. But we're not done yet. We will have more stuff to go through, and come on. All right. We want to hear from you. Tell us your Jeep woes, share your invasion stories. If you've got trivia, fun facts, or myths about Jeep history, send them our way. info@jeeplifepodcast.com. I'll read them on the air on a future episode. We'll talk about them. Maybe we'll have just a talk about that. Earlier we talked about Patreon. Please support us if you can. If you can't, tell your friends. Maybe they'll support. Go to YouTube, like and subscribe there. It just helps. Everywhere we can go, just helps get us somewhere, and it'll be good. All right. That's it for today's solo run. Thanks for hanging with me, Jeepin Terry, here on the Jeep Life Podcast. Thanks to our sponsors, our presenting sponsors, Armalite, as usual, the toughest flooring on the trail, Pipes Exhaust, Alpine Audio, Power Tank. Keep those Jeeps rolling, and I'll catch you next time. Until then, here's a big Jeep wave to you, everybody. Oh, hey, Essen, hey, Glenn, Frank. Good to see everybody, and I can't wait till we do it again. Thanks again for hanging out with us on your Monday night. It's been great, lots of great discussions, and I will see you guys soon.